Stephen A., were you surprised Dre was suspended?
I was not surprised at all, but incredibly disappointed. Let me say this.
In him or the NBA?
The NBA.
Okay.
I'm disappointed in the NBA. Love me some Adam Silver. And, we all know this. I'm disgusted with the NBA this morning. I'm sick and tired of everybody acting like this is just another game. It's not just another game. It's a playoff game. You got to do something far more flagrant than this to be suspended. Now, just for the record, I was on the phone with the league office this morning. Their position is clear. It was the excessiveness of the stomp, how demonstrative it was by Draymond Green, and it was also history. They took those two things into consideration. We all know this, just so now, because I got some notes here, guys. Obviously, he was suspended for the one game in the 2016 NBA Finals. We all get all of that. That's how the Cleveland Cavaliers won the damn series. They'd have lost that series in 5 games, but that's a different subject for another day. Draymond now has been called for 6 flagrant fouls and 27 technical fouls in 147 career playoff games. The fines that he has paid on top, in addition to his 3 suspensions, he's had to pay $1.26 million in fines. We understand that Draymond Green has a history. I'll get into that in a second. What I'm saying to the National Basketball Association is, we understand the investigators go, they interview Draymond Green, they interview Sabonis, they come back to the league office, they give them the information, and then Joe Dumars supposedly is the one that's making the decision. I don't want to hear that. This has Adam Silver's in on this too. And that's fine. You're the commissioner. My issue is, you see what Sabonis has done. He's not some innocent bystander in all of this. Context, which I'll leave it to JJ to provide, definitely needs to be taken into consideration here. And then you got to take into consideration the fact it's the damn playoffs. And considering how great Sacramento has looked in this series and how great they have looked all season, for us to be sitting here talking about this and potentially how this will seal Golden State's fate is a damn shame. And I think it's the NBA acquiescing and capitulating to a lot of the public noise out there on too many damn occasions that influences decisions like this, which I think is atrocious. There's no reason for Draymond Green to be suspended for this game. I'm not surprised. I expected it. And in that regard, that's where I hold Draymond Green accountable, because if I know what the league is going to do, he damn sure knew it, which means you have to guard yourself and protect yourself, because when all is said and done, somebody might be looking at Draymond Green again and saying, you didn't know better? This is the second time you cost the Golden State Warriors a championship in some people's eyes. And he's going to have to live with that.
I'm not surprised that this happened.
Okay.
However, I completely disagree with this. He should not have been suspended. They spent 2 games trying to bait him. Sabonis, over and over. You go back to the end of game 1. He pulls down Draymond Green on the defensive rebound. They go down. Wiggins misses the potential game winner. I watched that clip 5 times yesterday from 3 different angles. Not only does he pull him down, as Draymond's trying to get up, he reaches around and grabs his chest so he can't run down the court. Earlier in the 4th, Draymond gets a defensive rebound, makes the outlet pass. Sabonis elbows him as he's running by and then flops to the ground. And if we have an alternate angle, I don't know if we do, of the play, it's very clear that Sabonis grabs Klay Thompson, tries to rip him down to the ground to draw a foul, and flops and ends up at Draymond's ankle and then makes a dirty basketball play. That is a non-basketball play, to grab someone's ankle. Malik Monk did it to Draymond. This was, I believe, part of the strategy. I'm not saying Sabonis is a dirty player, but there's some dirty plays here.
Okay.
There is some dirty plays. For the league to acknowledge that Draymond served a punishment, he got ejected, which I believe he should have been ejected, and I'm not condoning what he did.
Yes.
He served his punishment.
The Warriors believe he should have been ejected. They don't have a problem with it.
Nobody has a problem with that. I agree that the Warriors can come back and win the next 2 games. To me, the referees have dictated too much in this series. They have allowed too much. I have no problem with physical play in the playoffs. But if Steph Curry's not allowed to move off the ball, if you're preventing players from running down the court and you're allowing that to happen, there's a play late in game 2 where Kevon Looney's right underneath the rim, ready for a rebound. Sabonis crashes in, pushes him in the back. They don't call the foul. That's a foul. The referees have dictated too much in the Kings' favor in this series. I really believe that. And I don't know if it's the home crowd or whatever. I rarely complain about the referees. In fact, I don't even know if I've ever complained about the referees. I think they're great. But if they're going to come back in this series, they've got to call the game the way the game is supposed to be called.
It doesn't happen often, but JJ Redick is completely wrong here. There's been bad calls on both sides, and this has been a very physical series, so they've been letting them play. I agree that Draymond's ejection was enough, and he shouldn't have been suspended, but given his history, I don't feel bad for him one bit. He's been doing this his entire career, and the league has taken that into consideration and suspended him. That's no one's fault but Draymond. And to say the refs have been favoring the Kings in this series is a ridiculous take. He's the only one saying that. You don't hear anyone on the Warriors except for Draymond complaining about the officiating. The Kings have been beating the Warriors' ass. The Warriors have been turning over the ball at a complete ridiculous rate. That's their problem. And the fact that Jordan Poole has been completely useless in this series. I already made this prediction. I said Andrew Wiggins isn't going to be able to come back and save the Warriors from themselves. They've been turning the ball over way too much, and they can't win on the road. And lo and behold, they turn the ball over like crazy, and they lose on the road. And now it's the refs' fault. All I ever heard was, the Warriors are going to turn it on. Andrew Wiggins is coming back. Steph and Klay are going to be monsters, and this team is going to be completely different in the playoffs. And now the playoffs have arrived, and it's the refs' fault. I've watched every dribble of this playoff series, and yes, there's been bad calls, but there's been just as many on the Kings as there's been on the Warriors. The refs have not controlled this series. There was a play where Draymond backed his ass up into Sabonis and didn't let him get back on defense, and the refs reviewed the play and didn't even give Draymond a foul. The Warriors have Mr. Illegal Screen himself. This series should have been tailor-made for Draymond Green. He was given the longest leash in the NBA, and he still messed it up because he curb stomped Sabonis and made it super obvious while doing so because he jumped off him. That is Draymond Green's fault and no one else's. And it's funny because the media said the same thing when Draymond was suspended in the finals. They said LeBron called Adam Silver. It was a stimulus package. Even though Draymond Green punched LeBron in the groin and he was already at 16 technical fouls, which means with another technical foul, by the NBA's rules, he was suspended. But just like now, everyone was saying, the NBA is rigged against the Warriors, Draymond shouldn't have been suspended. If you have that many technical fouls and you punch a guy in the nuts, I don't know what to tell you. Just like I don't know what to tell you when you curb stomp somebody, jump off of them, and then proceed to talk shit to the fans and the other players. That is a you problem. So I don't want to hear about how the NBA is rigged again when the Warriors lose. The Warriors lost because they cannot take care of the ball, they have no production from key players, and they've just been the worst team. I don't know what to tell you. But that's all I have for this video. Let me know in the comments. Is the NBA rigged now because the Warriors are finally losing again? And leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more NBA content just like this, and I will see you in the next upload.